A Local 12 News investigation is triggering a call for change at Ohio's statehouse.
Some lawmakers are backing a bill that would force cities to pay for damages in crashes caused by police and other emergency vehicles. Duane Pohlman's investigation spurred the action, which could lead to a new law.
My first hope would be that the law gets changed so what happened to me won't happen to anybody else.
Bobby Burgess stepped up, agreeing to testify at the Ohio Statehouse about this crash. That's a Cincinnati Police cruiser spinning out of control and slamming into Bobby's car. It was a total loss.
State law allowed Cincinnati to completely avoid paying out anything.
Bobby, who was featured in our Local 12 investigation, described to state representatives seated on the House Civil Justice Committee his disappointment and financial hardship when the city of Cincinnati refused to pay more than $12,000 in damages, writing, "This Ohio law means cities are immune from liability."
It was only when Local 12 investigative reporter Duane Pohlman heard my story that I began to get any kind of traction.
Bobby's case was far from alone. We uncovered the case of Donna Siege, who was struck in her wheelchair by a Dayton police car. Again, the city refused to pay, saddling Siege with $250,000 in medical bills.
The policeman hit me.
It was phenomenal that you, Mr. Pohlman, on Channel 12 Investigates had already done the legwork for me.
State Representative Catherine Ingram, a Democrat from Cincinnati, spurred by our investigation, authored this bill to change Ohio's immunity law, ending blanket immunity, forcing cities to maintain funds and pay people for damages caused by emergency crews who are not responding to an emergency at the time of the crash.
You going to get this passed, do you think?
I hope so. I think so. I really do.
Ingram's bill is getting bipartisan support, including from the Republican chair of the committee, who says some changes will be needed.
I do think it needs to be tweaked.
That tweaking may begin with a key word: emergency. While immunity would still be in play for things like police chases, an emergency response is still not defined in the bill.
I will say lights or sirens. Mainly because there are times, say, if they don't want the suspect, if they're on their way to...
Understood.
They don't want... So, yeah, I think that should be included as part of a definition.
Whatever the changes, lots of lawmakers agree. For Bobby and others, this law has had an impact, and that needs to change.
Whether it's a police vehicle or another vehicle, and it's not a life-threatening emergency, and they're just driving down the street and they run into your car, I think most people would say they should pay for the damages.
There are a lot of steps before this bill becomes law, and most say there will be changes along the way. Of course, we'll be following up every step of the way. I'm Duane Pohlman, Local 12 News.
This investigation started with a tip. If you have a tip for Duane, call him at our Local 12 investigation tip line, 763-5425.